joined now by JB and Tony Pritzker from Pritzker Group Venture Capital. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Because there are so many changes, so many inventions going on, and
there's very little impact on us other than the fact that there are just fewer guys out there doing it, but there's still significant venture capital.
I don't want to say that anybody's lying. It's always a little harder to execute.
He is crying poor. The divorce between HYATT Hotel heir Anthony Pritzker and his wife of 34 years, Jeanne, is becoming ugly. According to a person with direct knowledge of the matter, Tony is making a last-ditch effort to convince her to abide by their prenuptial agreement as part of his latest effort to strip her of her rights in their divorce. According to the source, he is now acting in an unfair and controlling manner toward her in an attempt to force her to abide by a prenuptial agreement that has no basis in their current reality. After being hitched in 1989, the pair is said to have split up in September 2022. A few months ago, he secretly filed for divorce, alleging irreconcilable differences. However, it seemed as though the moment they said, "I do," the writing was on the wall. 1 week prior to her wedding, Jeanne, a naive 20-something, reportedly signed a very restrictive prenup. The source said, "He put it under her nose and now he's trying to get her to live by it, which is nothing." Tony's net worth was estimated by Forbes to be over $3 billion, yet according to our informant, he is crying poor. According to the source, Tony is arguing in court that his net worth is merely $55 million, as opposed to the more than $3 billion that the publication has revealed. Tony gained a portion of his wealth through the Pritzker Group, a private equity company he co-owned with his brother JB Pritzker, who departed the company in 2019 to take office as governor of Illinois.
Spent another $55 million trying to take me out in the same election. And
having the biggest fair we've ever had. I want to say to our Chicago agricultural students, wow.
in order to get the answers, we've got to do an investigation. We've got to figure out what the real facts are.
When I started New World Ventures, we had not a lot of money, and we had the idea that we would.
The focus is on action and not just talk. The work that you do over the next 2 days.
Tony wants to kick Jeanne out of their 50,000 square foot home in the Beverly Crest District, which is one of the biggest estates in Los Angeles County. According to the Insider, Tony says the family trust owns and runs the family house, but he hasn't shown a copy of the trust. He also says the trust covers all of his costs. In the meantime, it is said that he turned down Jeanne's repeated pleas for marriage counseling. The Insider claimed that he's now walking away from his responsibilities to the very people who built him up for so many years. But Jeanne isn't going to go to sleep easily. To defend herself against Tony's representative, Hollywood Disso queen Laura Wasser, she has enlisted the services of power attorney Daniel Jaffe. According to Jaffe, Tony was obliged to exchange a declaration of disclosure, which includes a list of his assets and obligations, as well as an income and spending declaration, with the opposite party in a divorce proceeding. He disclosed $55 million in net assets on his schedule of assets and debts. He did not include any family trust assets.
but I think there were lots of terrific candidates who fell out. I look more down ticket. And
latest round, which has preference, by the way. When things get tough, the preference is just going to crush all that value.
The Republicans are going to have to try and win to keep control of the Senate.
Yeah.
And, go forward with that.
So, everybody wanted to be labeled a unicorn, and so they wanted to have that marker.
Like Trade Promotion Authority is something that we should get our elected officials behind.
Tony Pritzker embroiled in $3.7 billion. In order to safeguard his $3.7 billion wealth, Tony Pritzker, the heir to the HYATT Hotel empire, is divorcing his wife of 33 years and requesting that a judge uphold the prenuptial agreement. Pritzker also alleges that Jeanne won't sign a paper confirming the validity and enforceability of their prenuptial agreement. A lot is on the line, including the couple's massive holding known as the Pritzker Estate, which, upon completion of construction in 2012, ranked as the second largest residential property in Los Angeles. Situated between Beverly Hills and Bel Air in the upscale Beverly Crest neighborhood of LA, the 50,000 square foot property offers expansive 180-degree views of the city. Tony and Jeanne were wed on July 29, 1989, and as of September 2022, they are no longer together, per legal records. Documents state that just 1 week before their wedding, the couple jointly signed a premarital agreement. Tony, the owner of the Pritzker Group private equity firm, now asserts in court documents that Jeanne has rejected the validity and enforceability of their prenuptial agreement. The prenuptial agreement stipulates that all profits by the parties throughout their marriage are the independent property of the earning party, and that certain joint property must be shared equally between the pair according to divorce filings. Additionally, it specifies that Jeanne's eligibility for spousal assistance is limited. Fresh from her victory in Kevin Costner's divorce, Tony's lawyer, Laura Wasser, dubbed the Disso Queen, has filed paperwork to compel Jeanne to either recognize or formally contest the prenuptial agreement. The records state that during a mediation in April of this year, Tony presented the couple and their attorneys with a comprehensive settlement offer. Wasser states, "It has become clear that we will need the court's assistance to move this case forward to resolution, as we have received no counterproposal whatsoever." However, not much more is known about the specifics of the split, as Pritzker is requesting that the court suppress the couple's prenuptial agreement and private financial reports that could reveal details of the multi-billion-dollar Pritzker enterprise to the public.
Joined now by JB and Tony Pritzker from Pritzker Group Venture Capital. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Growth in healthcare for a variety of reasons. Again, technology is making a big difference in saving.
There's very little impact on us other than the fact that there are just fewer guys out there doing it, but there's still significant venture capital.
Tony requests that all of his financial records, including his income, assets, and obligations, be sealed by a judge. Docs state that the Pritzker family is well known. There's a very high chance of any security breach and/or identity theft harming the party's children, Tony's businesses, and his financial activities in general. According to the documents, the 303rd richest individual in America's precise financial information is not accessible to the general public. 6 children total, including twins who are 16 years old and subject to custody and child maintenance orders issued by the court, are shared by Tony and Jeanne. Per court documents, they have both consented to share 50-50 custody of the twins. Split between 2 basement levels and a 2-story residence, the Pritzker estate features an outstanding 60-car parking lot, game room, bowling alley, library, exercise room, gymnasium, spa, tennis court, beauty salon, and pool. The huge estate is currently the 3rd largest residential property in Los Angeles, behind the controversial Manor, constructed by Aaron Spelling on land formerly held by Bing Crosby, and The One, which was finished in 2020. When the project was under development, locals were getting more and more irritated with the Pritzker family's enormous property in the charming neighborhood. In reference to the family's extensive global hotel empire, they dubbed the project the Grand Hyatt Bel Air. With a combined net worth of $36.9 billion, the Pritzker family is among the richest in the nation. The family comprises 11 billionaires.
Because there are so many changes, so many inventions going on, and the result
with the company as they grow. And that isn't always the case with a typical venture firm.
One part of the economy, people are very focused on how.
And I don't want to say that anybody's lying. It's always a little harder to execute.
As the heirs to the multinational Hyatt Hotel Company, Tony and his siblings, Penny Pritzker, 64, and J.B. Pritzker, 58, is estimated to have a combined net worth of $10 billion. Penny Pritzker served as Vice President Barack Obama's Secretary of Commerce before her husband J.B. Pritzker was elected as the Democratic governor of Illinois. As the son of co-founder Jay Pritzker, Tony's cousin Tom holds the position of Executive Chairman at Hyatt Hotels and Resorts Corporation. Tom, 72, was one of several well-known men that late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein forced Virginia Roberts to have sex with, according to records filed in 2019. Tom has refuted the claims and made vain attempts to stop the release of court records. Nick Pritzker, 29, a cannabis entrepreneur, paid $12.5 million earlier this year for a circular house that has been featured in movies including Lethal Weapon 2 and Fast and the Furious. Tony and Jeanne's son, Abram Nicholas Pritzker, 1896 to 1986, was a lawyer and real estate investor who fathered Jay, Robert, and Donald Pritzker. He is the ancestor of the Pritzker family. The Hyatt Hotels Corporation, one of the biggest hotel and resort businesses in the world, was founded by J. and Donald Pritzker. The Hyatt hotel chain comprises properties that operate under the Hyatt name, including Park Hyatt, Grand Hyatt, Hyatt Regency, and Hyatt Place, as well as luxury brands that appeal to clients interested in wellness, luxury, boutique, and art and design, like Miraval, Andaz, Thompson Hotels, and Dream Hotels. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.